Hello Year 6, welcome to your maths video for Friday. So your starter for today is another imposter challenge, okay? So like last week, there's more than one imposter, but I'm not telling you how many there are, okay? So there's more than one, so you're gonna have to make sure you go through every single question and find all of the imposters, okay? So you just need to have a look and figure out whether it is right or wrong. So this first one says, if 13 add A is 25, A equals 12. So you need to put 12 where A is and see if it works. Okay, this one says 3 squared add 2 cubed is 18. So remember, 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2. 17 divided by 1,000 is 0.017. 14 times 12 is 168. The angles in a triangle equal 360 degrees. 75% is the same as 3/4. 9/12 take away 6/12 equals 3/12. 50% of 300 is 150. Remember, to find 50%, we half a number, don't we? 2,100 take away 250 is 1,950. And then 3/8 of 16 is 6. Okay, so I think you are all quite confident with the maths needed to work these out. So write them down, work out which ones are wrong, and then you can work out how many imposters there are. Okay, so don't forget to take a quick picture of your imposter challenge and include it on your email for today. Okay, so good luck with that. Your work for today then. So we are still working in our Year 6 stretch book, and we're moving on to pages 42 and 43 today. And your learning question is, can I solve missing number problems using letters and symbols? So we're moving a little bit more now towards algebra. Okay, so we've done really well on percentages and our percentage reasoning. So we're moving on now to have a look at algebra. Okay, so I have got some similar questions on my board. They're not the same as the ones in your book. I'm going to show you how to work them out. I'm going to model it, and then you can apply that to your work in your book. Okay, so let's have a look then. So it says, work out the answers to these calculations if X equals 10, Y equals 4, and Z equals 5. Okay, so you've got a very similar question, but you've got different numbers. Okay, so if X equals 10, I'm going to write 10 above that. The add stays the same. Y equals 4. Okay, the takeaway stays the same. Z equals 5. Okay, so I've got another Z. And then Y equaled 4, didn't it? Okay, so now I can work it out. Now it's numbers, it's easy. Okay, so you just go along. So 10 add 4 is 14. 14 take away 5 is 9. 9 add 5 would be 14. Add 4 would be 18. Okay, so you need to do the exact same for your first question in question 1. So if I was you, I would write the numbers above the letters and then work it out. Okay, your second part of question 1 then is like this. Okay, so the numbers are still the same. Okay, so you're still using the same parts in your question. So X was 10. Okay, so let's put a 10 above that one. Y was 4. Okay, and Z was 5. Okay, so put my numbers above again. Okay, but this one is slightly different. Okay, because you've got 3x and it's right next to each other, that means you've got to multiply it together when they're right next to each other. So this then means 3 times 10. Okay, so that will mean 30. Okay, this one is just by itself, it's just a letter on its own, so that just stays as 4. And then this one is 2Z, And the 2 is right next to the Z, so that means it's 2 times 5. Okay, so 2 times 5 is 10. And now you can work it out. So 30, take away 4 is 26. 26 add 10 is 36. Okay, so yours is very, very similar. Remember, you've got 8x, so work out what x is, and then your first one would be 8 times x. Okay, so you go away and have a go at question 1. Okay, let's have a look at question 2 then. Question 2 says, yours says something similar to this. So mine says A equals 12, B equals 2, C equals 1, and D equals 4. Okay, so you have got to put letters in the boxes to make the calculations correct. Okay, so I've got something divided by something equals 3. I'm almost at the moment going to forget about the letters. I'm going to look at my numbers and think what divided by what would equal 3. Okay, so I've got 12 here and I've got 4. And I know that 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Okay, so 12 is A. So A is going to go in my first box. And 4 is D. So D is going to go in my second box. Okay, so you've got a very similar question, just different numbers. So you have a look at how you can do that first part. Your second part then is very similar. It's just got an extra box and it's just slightly harder. So something times something, take away something, is going to be 23. Let's have a look then. Well, I know that 12 times 2 is 24. If I need 23, I've got to take 1 off, and I've got a 1. So then I can do A times B, which would give me 24. Take away C would give me 23. Okay, and then what I would do before you move on is just double check it. So A was 12, B was 2, so 12 times 2 is 24, C is 1, 24 take away 1 is 23, so it definitely works. Okay, always check that it definitely works before you move on. Okay, so now you can go away and have a go at question 2. Question 3 then says each symbol stands for a number in the grid below. The values outside the grid are found by adding the numbers in each row or column together. Okay, so for example then, this one add this one add this one add this one is going to equal that. Okay, so all of this column added up equals that. Okay, and all of that row equals that. Okay. So we have got to find the missing row and column total. So these empty boxes here have got to be filled in. Okay, but before you can do that, you've got to work out what each symbol, what each shape is worth. Okay, now straight away I can see that this one, they are all the same shape and it equals 32. Okay, so to work out what this hexagon is worth, we can do 32 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, because they are all the same. 32 then divided by 4 is 8, isn't it? 8 times 4 is 32. So I know then that these hexagons are all worth 8. And I've got one up here, so I can pop that in as well. Okay, and that's my tip for you today, is when you work out what a shape is worth, go and write it in the middle of all of that shape, and that will help you to see which ones you need to find. Okay, so we've worked that out. Now then, we've got 2 of this column. Okay, and we know that this column adds up to 34. Okay, so if you add 8, we know that's 16. If we do 34, take away that 16, 1 second. Okay, so if we do 34, take away 16, 4 take away 6, you can't do, so you're going to have to borrow. So 14 take away 6 then is going to be 8. And 2 take away 1 is 1. So we've got 18 left. Okay, so we know that this one and this one has got to be 18. So what's half of 18? 18 divided by 2 is 9, isn't it? So they must equal 9. So now we can go and put the other circles in, because we now know that the circles equal 9. Okay? Then you can do the exact same thing on this row. Okay? So you know that 9 add 9, so the circles add 2 triangles equals 20. So if you do 9 add 9, you all know what that is, and take that away from 20, which I'm sure you can all do mentally, then you can divide that by 2 and that will give you your triangles. Okay? And then you're nearly there. Once you've got your triangle, all you've got to do then is find your star. Okay? But once you've got your triangle, once you've got these triangles, all you need to do is do this, add this, add this. Okay? Well, you can work out this one first, can't you? So once you've got your triangles, your challenge then is to go ahead and try and find your star. Okay, so for example, this one, I would start with this column. So you know that this one adds up to 29. So once you've got this one, and this one, take it away from 29 and that will give you that one. Once you've got that one, you can use that to help you work out that one. Okay? So you have a go then and finish off that question. So remember, you need to write a total in each of these 4 boxes. Okay, so that is page 42. On page 43 then, your first question, again, it's very similar to the one on the board, but I've changed it slightly. So just apply what we do on the board to work in your book. So it says A, B and C are all different, even digits. Okay, that's a bit of key information there. They are all even digits. Okay, it says find the values of A, B and C that make the following calculation correct. Okay, now I've written one similar to the one that you've got in your book. Okay, now this is a little bit of trial and error. Question 4 and 5, you might have to use a little bit of trial and error to work out the answer. Sometimes the answer might not always be obvious straight away. So I know that my digits are all even. Okay, now the first even number is 2, isn't it? So I'm going to start with that. I'm going to say that A is 2, and I'm going to start this side because that's the side that we start when we're doing column addition. So I'm going to say that A is 2 for now. It might not be, but that's what I'm going to try first. 2 add 2 then is 4. So that would mean that B is 4. Okay? So if B is 4, then that's got to be 4, that's got to be 4, that's got to be 4, and that's got to be 4. Okay? 4 add 4 then is 8. So that would make C 8. And then does it work here? Yes. Okay, so luckily it worked. So A is 2, B is 4, and C is 8 in my question. Yours is slightly different. Okay, so I'd use the same method. Have a go and see if you can work out what A, B, and C all are. But just remember to check it works. So whatever numbers you write in those boxes, I would write out in column addition and check it works before you move on. Okay? Question 5 then is a slightly trickier question. So you're going to have to do quite a bit of working out for this question. So I've got the exact question on my board because I want to go through it carefully with you so that you know how to do it in your book. So it says question 5, the letters A, B, C, D, E and F represent the numbers 0 to 5. Okay? And then you've got some missing number problems to help you solve what the letters are. Okay, now I'm going to give you a hint to get you started that A equals 1. Okay, A equals 1. Bear with me a second, I'm going to move. Oh, going to move, yeah. We'll move this down here, and then we've got a bit of working out space. So the first one says A plus D equals A. Okay, I've just told you that A equals 1. So let's just write it out. So we know it's 1. Okay, so 1 plus something equals 1. What's that going to be? If it's not changed, then it's nothing, isn't it? So D then would be 0. Okay, so then you can go to your box. Oh, I'm right. 0 in that one. Okay, and then as you go further along, the more letters you work out, it will reveal other letters. So your next one is 2F take away 3 plus D. Okay, so we know now that D is 0. So you can write it out and change D so that it's a number. Okay, so 2 times something, take away 3, add nothing is 0. So it's 3, sorry. So forget this now. We can forget that 0 is even there because it's not doing anything. So let's write it out without it. So 2 times something, take away 3 is 3. So let's work backwards. Okay, so what's the opposite, the inverse of subtract? It's addition, isn't it? So if you do 3 add 3 is 6, isn't it? Okay, and then we need to do 6 divided by 2, because remember, 2F means multiply, doesn't it? Okay, so if you do 6 divided by 2, that will tell you what F is. Okay, so then you can go back and fill in F. Okay, your next one then is 2C. So we don't know what C is yet, so we can't change that. Take away 3D, which remember 3 was 0. So it's nothing, so we can forget that's even there. So take away 0, add F. You've just worked out what F is, but I don't want to tell you. So you put F in there, and it all equals 11. Okay. So remember to work backwards. So this is adding this. So the opposite of adding is subtracting. So do 11, subtract this. Okay. Work backwards. You need to divide it by 2. Okay. So we're working out now what C is. Okay. So do 11, take away this, divide it by 2, and that will give you C. Okay, so by now we should have D, F, and C. And you've already got A, haven't you? So you've already got 4 of them now. Okay, so your next one then is C, add 3B, take away 9 equals 1. So you don't know what B is yet, but you do know what C is. So rewrite it, put your C in there, add 3B take away 9 equals 1. Okay, so remember, work backwards. So you're starting with 1, you took away 9, so if you add 9, so 1 add 9, and then work backwards and see if you can work out what B must be. Okay, so remember, you already know now what that is. So something, add 3 times something, take away 9 is going to equal 1. Just remember, whatever number you write in that box for B, just check it works before you move on. Okay. And then your last one, you know what B is now because you've just worked out B for that one. So B, add something, add 2 times something, so you know what C is. So go back to your box, look what C is, multiply C by 2, and then it will equal 15. And then you should be able to figure out what your missing number is in the middle. Okay. So you go away then and have a good go at that question. That is your trickiest question for today. So you're probably going to have to do quite a bit of working out, but you should be able to get there in the end. Okay. Again, you have got your challenge question for today at the bottom of page 43. And it says, the value of each letter of the alphabet is the same as the letter's position in the alphabet. For example, A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, and so on. So Z would equal 26 because there's 26 letters in the alphabet. The value of a word is found by adding together the values of the letters in the word. For example, cat, C equals 3, A equals 1, T equals 20, so it would equal 24. And you add the value of each letter. Can you work out the values of these words? So write down star, work out what S would be worth, work out what T would be worth, A and R, and add them together. Can you find words to represent all the values from 30 to 50? Oh, that's quite a challenge. And can you find multiple words that have the same value? That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? So maybe, for example, tap, T-A-P, would have the same value as pat, wouldn't it? Because it's got the same amount of letters. Okay, so that's your challenge. And you could also see what your name is worth. Write out your name and see what each letter in your name is worth. Okay, and add them together. So that's all of your maths work for today. Don't forget to log on to Timetable Rockstars. The battle ends later on today. And we'll see who wins. Is it going to be year 5 or year 6? Have a lovely weekend, and I will see you all on Monday.